I want to share this passage because it's definitely something that I'm experiencing right now, and I think just getting it out there is going to be a really good step that I need to take to hold myself accountable to fixing this. So this is from The Body Keeps the Score. The author, little questionable. The book, amazing. Highly recommend. The section is Getting to Know Me, Cultivating Interoception. I'm going to skip a few lines here and there to make it a little bit quicker, but I'm not leaving out anything important. People who suffer from alexithymia tend to feel physically uncomfortable but cannot describe exactly what the problem is. As a result, they often have multiple vague and distressing physical complaints that doctors can't diagnose. In addition, they can't figure out for themselves what they're really feeling about any given situation or what makes them feel better or worse. This is the result of numbing, which keeps them from anticipating and responding to the ordinary demands of their bodies in quiet, mindful ways. I knew I suffered from alexithymia in an autistic sense of not having the words and being disconnected from my body in that way, but I never really realized alexithymia can also come from cPTSD and numbing behaviors. And it goes on to explain, if you're not aware of what your body needs, you can't take care of it. If you don't feel hunger, you can't nourish yourself. Me, right now, currently experiencing this. If you mistake anxiety for hunger, you may eat too much. Me, used to, when I used to binge eat. And if you can't feel when you're sated, you'll keep eating. This is why cultivating sensory awareness is such a critical aspect of trauma recovery. Most traditional therapies downplay or ignore the moment-to-moment shifts in our inner sensory world, but these shifts carry the essence of the organism's responses. The emotional states that are imprinted in the body's chemical profile, in the viscera, in the contraction of the striated muscles of the face, throat, trunk, and limbs. Traumatized people need to learn that they can tolerate their sensations, befriend their inner experiences, and cultivate new action patterns. I am stuck in this cycle of seeking sensory, seeking the next project, seeking movement, honestly, anything that isn't sitting still. Even when I'm trying to sit still, even when I'm having a moment where I decide that I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read my book and I'm going to kind of tap into my inner state and, maybe work through something, I always just end up running away in some way, whether that be physically, I get up and go do something completely different and don't even really catch myself in the shift, or it's mentally I'm checked out and I let myself do a little bit, but it teeters off. It never goes deep enough. It never really gets to the root, the core, the trauma. And I think that that's what it is having this drive for movement and feelings of overwhelm. And yes, some of them obviously are valid given everything that I'm going through and given that I struggle with my mental health in general. But if I pause and step back and really look at it, I'm really not getting, my stomach's growling. Actively having hunger signals, no desire to eat. I could, if I tried to eat right now. What was I saying? I'm really not getting anything done. I'm always starting something, setting something up, planning, organizing, imagining around. But I have felt so much anxiety and such a block on ever completing anything. Everything feels too big. Everything feels like in a dream when you're chasing it and it's just out of grasp. And I'm sitting here trying to rationalize it. I know I am. I'm struggling to acknowledge that that's just because you're going through something, Summer, and I don't know, I need to figure it out. And so I'm gonna try to start holding myself more accountable by taking you guys along with me while I figure something out so that I can pause and look back and just hold myself more accountable to actually complete things and not just set things up and then jump to the next thing, especially when it comes to trauma thoughts and feelings and checking in with my body and not adding to my alexithymia by intentionally sensory seeking elsewhere and numbing. And like the book recommends yoga. I can't. Can anybody? Does anybody have any like good yoga recommendation videos like on something that will help me? Because that's never been something that I could do, and I need to find something that I can do to connect with my body, because I'm here. I feel like I'm here all the time. I'm not in my body. I'm always just floating above it, or like looking through my eyes, and my eyes are just like a big screen and I'm like this little tiny person inside of there. This is going off the rails, but I have so much to say. I just want to like hang out and talk with you guys. Would anybody be interested in like a live? I would love if you guys are here to talk back with me. I can go live. I just have a massive fear around doing it, not knowing how it works, and there could be really mean people that come into the comments and like start saying things, and then I would cry. No, it would really affect me. But like if you guys were there, if you guys like wanted to hang out one day, or even like on Zoom, I don't know. Does anybody want to have like therapy chats? Live therapy chats? Notice how I just lost what this was supposed to be. I have to acknowledge that has to be like numbing. That has to be something going on in my head where some part of me is intentionally getting me to look elsewhere. Okay.